Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome. Uh, did I put us in the right thing? I think I put us in the right window. Hello. Hopefully, everybody can see me and see the rest of these lovely folks that I'm here with. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever it is you are. Ray can see us, and if Ray can see us, then we are good to go. I'm I'm all set. Um, well, hello. This is a Drifters RPG sort of like demo preview stream of sorts. I'm Spencer Campbell. I publish under the name Gila RPGs, and I made the RPG Drifters recently. And I'm here with some fantastic folks who are going to play the game with me. So I'm gonna actually stop talking. I'm gonna let my fine friends here introduce themselves. I'm gonna borrow like from the strategies of like Jeremy Gage and others, where like put all your plugs in the beginning while people are like here, and then we'll plug them all over again at the end, just so that we get those double plugs, right? So Adira, would you mind starting off and telling the fine folks who you are?
Yeah, hi, I'm Adira Slattery. I'm a game designer, and I do other things too. Um, shh. uh, uh, yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Adira Slattery. You can get my games at adira.itch.io. And otherwise, just Google Adira Slattery.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, that's excellent. Uh, Aaron, why don't you tell people who you are?
Yeah, I'm Aaron Jolliffe. I also make some games and do other things. I am still new to itch and everything, so I gotta actually remember what my link is. Oh yeah, it's jolliffe.itch.io. So just figure out how to spell my terrible last name, and you're all set.
I think folks should be able to like just throw links in chat. I don't think it's like banned from other people doing that. So feel free to throw links to your stuff in chat if you're there, or I can grab them and throw them in as well. Yeah, Aaron has been. I'm
Exactly.
a little biased because Aaron has been releasing some cool Nova stuff lately. So I'm biased and excited about the stuff that Aaron has been working on. Um, Excellent. And last, but certainly not least, Josh, tell the folks who you are.
Hello, hi. I'm Josh. I use he, him pronouns. I coincidentally enough also make tabletop role playing games and things over on itch.io. Pretty weird. We're all in the same room doing this thing. You can find me over at ostrichmonkey.itch.io. Also, it's basically the same thing on Twitter. No, I will not explain my nonsense branding because there is no explanation. I am excited to play Drifters. I like Slayers. I like Gila RPGs things. We're gonna do some gunslinging, some pew pew. It's gonna be a good time.
Ostrich Monkey is a very powerful brand name, I have to say. It's very good. I love it. Well, excellent. It's great to see you all. It's great to see people here in chat. I've asked everybody to make their characters ahead of time, so we're not going to go through character creation here, but we will get to learn about our drifters in just a second. So, for folks who are maybe new to drifters, it is a Slayers hack. Slayers is a monster hunting game that I released, was it last year or was it the year before? Time makes no sense. Recent, I don't know, somewhat recently, I released a monster hunting game called Slayers, and this is a hack of it that is a sort of a Weird West version in which we have cursed gunslingers. Yes, I am overwhelmed by time. Cursed gunslingers wandering the wastes, and with their weird void-born sentient guns that whisper horrid secrets to them. And you go into these towns to solve problems. Today we're going to see like the beginning of of what that process looks like. We're gonna have our drifters introduce themselves. They're gonna learn about a problem in this town. The town that we're gonna be using is actually part of the pre-built adventure that's in the drifters core rulebook. So if you have the rulebook, you might see some familiarity with the stuff that we're working with, or this might inspire you when you run the adventure from the rulebook. And then we're just going to do just a little bit of it just to show it off, and we'll wrap it up. So let's start by setting a scene here before we see our drifters themselves. So the three of you have arrived recently. Oh boy, did my screen just die?
Oh,
Oh no. It's back. Oh my god, I almost killed everything there. Okay. We are good. Sorry about that, everybody. Um, we are in the town of Gray's Landing. The three of you have just arrived as part of a caravan. Drifters typically work with caravans because the wastes between towns are incredibly dangerous, but you all can wander them pretty safely. Thank you for the follow. Um, and you just arrived, and this town, Gray's Landing, seems a bit off. Now, you're used to towns being off. That's kind of your job, is to go into towns and figure out what's going on at the heart and soul of it and root out that corruption. But this town feels off in almost a mundane way, in that there seem to be sort of thugs and enforcers waiting for you at the very beginning. That's atypical to see so many hired guns waiting at the city gates. Now, so far, you've managed to at least not attract a great deal of attention to yourselves so that nobody's coming and bothering the drifters just yet. But drifters, if they want, can get a lot of attention very quickly. Yes, oh no, it's the cops. So, you all have arrived, and you've sort of been given the rundown of what's going on in town. So we see the three of you in the back of one of these wagons with one of the locals kind of catching the drifters up with what's happening here in town. But so as they're going to be describing this, I want to actually stop and see each of you here in the moment and learn a little bit about you. So we see the three of you crowded around this like small little map of the town. And this gentleman here is sort of describing it to you. The camera stops here on Adira, Adira's character. Adira, can you introduce your drifter, please?
Yeah. She uses she, her pronouns. She's a sort of stern-looking woman with a tight bandana around her head, keeping her hair all contained with just a sort of soft pattern of blues and greens, maybe flowers. She's got a tight coat wrapped around her with long tails and a big ass shotgun right in front of her. Her name is Parker Buchanan.
Parker Buchanan. Excellent. So every drifter in this game is made of two parts. They have a background and they have the gun class. The gun class is what makes each character unique in combat. And so you sort of alluded to that you've got the big ass shotgun.
Yeah.
Do we get a sense from this of what maybe Parker's background might be, or is that a bit unknown still?
Parker's a little aloof.
Mm.
And that's because she has the background stranger.
Excellent. Yes, the stranger background. So probably the strangest of the backgrounds with some of the cool abilities that you can get. So we see Parker, and as the sort of like we hear just like this muffled talk as the plan is going over in the background as the audience. But we stop again and we see Aaron's drifter. So Aaron, what is the name of your drifter, and can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'm playing. His name is Wolfram. He's got kind of shaggy dark hair. He's wearing what used to be a really nice suit, and now it's like all dusty and it's probably got like bullet holes shot through it. It's not looking great anymore. And he's carrying just this big, very nice rifle that's got some purple wood set in the stock, and it's got grooves that are filled with what looks like green resin. It's like this bright green lines running through it, and it's definitely like a normal length that you'd expect a rifle to be.
The way that you say that
sure.
makes me think it is super not that.
No, it's gotta be the right length, right? Like,
Almost
that's
certainly.
definitely what rifles look like.
Almost certainly a normal shotgun. So I know you were mentioning a little bit beforehand that you have chosen the prospector background as your background, correct?
Yes.
Excellent. And one other thing about the rifle class is that you sort of get a little bit of a a magic vision, like a void sight that will help you in things. Is it obvious to people? Like, is your eye or your eyes off or strange or different, or are they just do they look like regular eyes right now?
I think when you look at him, most of the time his eyes look normal. You
Okay,
wouldn't get a sense, but that may be
cool,
different sometimes.
excellent. And lastly, as we move past the very normal length rifle, we find Josh's drifter. Josh, tell us a little bit about your drifter.
Yeah. So my drifter, he is wearing that sort of like classic Wild West gunslinger poncho, get upright, hat. Not really like quite the cowboy hat, still wide brimmed. Rough and tumble, a little scraggly, a little ragged. Clearly used to spending time out in these horrible void wastes, right? And I think prominently and obviously at his hip in a holster is a totally normal looking revolver.
I love how so normal everybody is for sure.
Yeah.
Completely normal. There aren't any strange glowing runes carved upon the chamber. Nothing like that. It doesn't appear to be made out of some weird metal.
This actually does raise an interesting question to me for you all, which is like, drifters can make themselves very obvious, like going into town, and which sometimes benefits you in terms of like people recognize you and you can kind of get to work right away. But also maybe that's not a good thing. So when you say that your revolver is totally normal, is that actually a thing where you like kind of talk to your gun for a second and be like, "Hey, just chill out. I need to blend in," or is it like is your gun always like I'm a wacky void gun all the
Yeah, no,
time?
definitely the latter.
Okay.
So because the background I picked is hunter, as in bounty hunter. So I think part of my character, who goes by the name Rattler, that's it. No, does he have a real name? Maybe. Who knows?
The gun
Um,
knows.
so like entering town as like a hunter, bounty hunter, you gotta evoke a certain sort of aura and
Mm.
vibe. Be like, don't mess with me, or I'll mess you up, right? So can't speak for the other two, but no, Rattler definitely looks like a drifter. There is just a weird, funky, slightly glowing, ominous revolver at his hip.
Excellent. Awesome.
I
Um,
think Parker's being a little more subdued right now. If you wanted to be a little bit more loud, she could like take off her guns. You could see her hands are all tattooed, hell fire on her knuckles.
yes.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. And of course, we all know that Wolfram is blending in with the totally normal rifle.
Yeah, of
Excellent.
course.
Hellfire Knuckles is very good. Very cool. All right. So, like I said, you are being the person in front of you is a gentleman by the name of Eugene Avery. He sort of works with a lot of caravans that come in and out of Gray's Landing, and he's giving you the rundown of what's happened here. And essentially, since the last time you've been here, maybe you've never been here, but somewhat recently, a local bandit gang, like an outlaw gang, has just come in showing strength that maybe is atypical. Like normally bandits don't come in this way. They'll come in, they'll mess with people and leave. But these people have decided to stay, and like this is their new home. So the town of Gray's Landing is under new leadership, essentially, by this outlaw, calling themselves an outlaw warlord named Arthur Mathis. Now, since they have taken over this gang, a number of problems have happened in town. Now, in Drifters, your goal ultimately would be to try and take down Arthur Mathis. And you could just go try to fight Arthur right now. It would be really, really hard, though. The way that Drifters works is that you typically have a big problem that you chip away at by doing what are called patrols, which are sort of like small side missions that chip away at the strength of the big problem in town. So Eugene is here to tell you about some of the small problems that you can use to start to chip away at Arthur's hold on the town. And then you can decide which one you're interested in doing. So here's the sort of the rundown that Eugene has given you, and I'll let you all sort of decide what you want to work with. The local sheriff, Carrie Hatfield, she has been kidnapped, and ironically is being held in the jail. She is being held in her own prison, which is certainly not an ideal situation because she is now in the same place where some of the people that she has put into jail are also housed. Everybody like Carrie is sort of a beloved figure here in town, and certainly would be like a helpful leader in any kind of resistance against Arthur Mathis. So finding her and releasing her is one option. Mathis has 2 lieutenants, that are running around and have sliced up part of Gray's Landing and made it into their own little pleasure nightmare districts. Eliminating either lieutenant will certainly help reduce Mathis's hold on the city. And then the third option is to simply try to rearm the populace. They've taken all of the weapons from everybody. And if everybody can get their hands on some weapons, you've got a revolution brewing. And so finding the weapons depot, breaking into it, and rearming the populace would be a third option. Now, again, normally in Drifters, it's not you choose one and you don't get to do the others. It's just more like what would be the order you do things. And for today, we're going to take on one of those patrols. So what jumps out to you? I'll let you all sort of decide here. Eugene's kind of pointed out on the map where these things are. Freeing the sheriff, eliminating one of the lieutenants, or trying to rearm the populace.
All potentially quite fun. I think I'm leaning more towards either jailbreak or revolution, personally.
Yeah, I worry about the sheriff perhaps getting in the way. Especially if there's a jailbreak and there's a bunch more people out. Do they then side with the bandits? Because I know if I was in jail, I would side with the bandits. So there's that. Killing a man's always fun.
And these are
that's going to happen regardless.
These are bad people, so
So even funner.
exactly.
I don't know. I think that Wolfram is just gonna like walk up to the map and kind of, because what's his name? Eugene he's identified where the stash of guns is, right?
Yeah, they have a sense of where like the stuff is being held. It's in a relatively fortified location, so a lot of Mathis's gang are there. A lot of goons you'd have to get through to get to the guns. And then also highlighted 2 districts, like kind of neighborhoods of the town that the lieutenants are. They know that they're there somewhere in there, and that they've sort of created their own little mini kingdoms inside there, running things in a pretty horrible way.
Yeah, I think Wolfram just walked up to the map and just like points at the guarded facility where the guns are, and he just says, "We need to get them out of there. That's not right."
All right, let's do that.
All right. Is it Wolfram saying that, or is it your gun telling you to free the other gun?
You know, we want those guns out of there.
Awesome. Okay, so yeah, Eugene kind of circles a part on the map, and we'll give you this little local map so that you can traverse the city relatively easily. Now they've pointed out where this is. They've also highlighted to you, Eugene looks at the map and goes, I mean, this will certainly help. It'll go a long way, but you're in for a hell of a firefight. Are you sure you got it in you? It's just the 3 of you.
There are at least 6 of us. Don't worry.
Yeah, Eugene like kind of counts out on their hands and just goes, okay. So hands you the map. So you all, as part of the caravan, you would have arrived somewhere on like the edge of town. Sort of all caravans come in, people unload things, and then they move their way into the city. So you've got a map. You know how to get to this place. So here's my question to you all. is, I mean, we've already learned that Rattler is not maintaining a low profile. So, like, what's going to be your approach to getting to this part of town? Because by and large, from what you can see, people are still milling about as if this is a town, like a normal town. You just see thugs on corners, like, kind of keeping an eye on things. So, what's going to be your, like, approach for going to this place? What do you think?
So this gun prison, right? It's in the town, yeah.
Yeah.
What's the surroundings like? Is it sort of just a building off on its own? Is there a bunch of stuff nearby?
Yeah, so this is part of the strip that has most of the like the town shops on it, and they've basically just repurposed a shop. So they've like thrown out all of the goods from one place, probably like stolen them and used them for themselves, and then they've now boarded up what used to be probably like a general store or something like that in the main strip of town. And so there are plenty of Mathis's gang up front, and they've sort of, it's not like a heavily fortified, but they've done the best they can to just board this place up and surround it with goons. So it's on a populated street.
What's behind the building?
Behind the building, so there are alleys and things like that. So behind it would be the kind of the next street over. This is a relatively big town, so it's unlike one street towns. There's actually a couple of streets here, and it's mostly just like smaller shops and like living facilities. So like multi-room, sort of like early apartment, sort of complex building style stuff.
Okay. Okay, so what if Mathis' guys are mostly out front?
Yeah, they're watching like the main thoroughfare. They're making sure that everybody keeps this like a wide berth of this place. You know, everybody crosses the street if they're gonna walk down the street to stay as far away from this building as they can.
Yeah. So it seems like if we want to get the jump on these guys, coming in through the back is probably the best bet. Maybe get an explosive, blow up a wall, go in.
Hell yeah. Rain down some hellfire. I love that.
Sound good?
So yeah, and one thing to note about the like this game, and because it's a Slayer's hack, is that you all don't have like gear or equipment. So if there's stuff that you want, you can kind of either just like go around and talk to people to see if they can give it to you or cobble it together for you. You could also try to build things. You have a tinker skill that allows you to like build gear that you need, and so any kind of gear that maybe you wouldn't normally have on you would be something that you could probably just negotiate and talk to people about, or try to build with materials on hand.
Yeah, I mean that sounds a lot more fun than our plan. We were gonna say to like pretend to be some of the guards and blend in, but blowing stuff up sounds great.
Don't they all know each other?
I mean, it seems like a pretty big operation. Well, I guess if they're a gang that have been like going around together, then probably. But maybe if they're like really good at it, they won't know.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna take a peek over at my shotgun.
Okay.
Hey, fucko, you think you can blow up a wall, or do I need an explosive?
I mean, what kind of wall are we talking about here?
General store?
Oh, easy.
All right, sweet. Okay, we can probably blow up a wall without an explosive.
You can feel like
fantastic.
You feel the sensation of like the gun, like it activates like the dopamine in your brain immediately. Like it just like it releases it of just like pleasure. It's just like, ah, yes, thank you for giving me this opportunity to blow up a wall.
Okay, so
I've got a
we
question
get
for you real quick.
Yeah.
Sorry. How far is far range?
Far range is like kind of like down the street, like a couple shops down, sort of thing. We play kind of fast and loose with it, you know, especially with a rifle. You got some pretty good range on it.
Okay. Because now we're thinking we could, get up on top of a nearby building and cover you guys while you're busting in.
That sounds good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I don't know how big of a hole your gun's gonna make. I may not have a great view of things from across the street.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if a bunch of the goons are out front, and then suddenly there's an explosion from the back, then Wolfram can start picking them off from the front while they're distracted by said explosion happening behind them.
Exactly.
It's the perfect plan.
That works.
Yeah. And then do you want to go in, get the guns, and I'll hold the door? Well, the hole that I make?
Sure. Well, presumably, since it is the whole big cache of guns, just imagining running out with armfuls of these things, or are we going to try and secure the area so we can distribute them, or...
Yeah, that's true. Are we trying to like clear out the building and then move the guns, or are we trying to go in, get as many as we can, bail? We just get one of the caravan's wagons. Say, hey, we want to fill this with guns.
Park a caravan in the alley.
Yeah, that could be a good cover for why we're back there.
Right.
Uh,
We have ambiguous delivery to nearby store.
exactly.
Delivery caravan.
Hmm.
We've got a shipment of stuff to this store that happens to have guns in it.
Oh, thank goodness! I've been waiting for this shipment of stuff.
We're running out of stuff.
Yeah, I think, Eugene would be more than willing to lend you one of the caravans from town if they know that it's being used for something like this. So, I think they give you they look around at the fleet and they find one that's like a little shitty already, and they're like, you can take that one because it's probably on its last legs anyway, and they don't have a great deal of faith that it's going to come back in great condition. A kind of a rough-looking wagon is brought over for you all to use as transport under the guise of stuff delivery.
Nice.
Perfect.
Cool. So
Cool.
I think so. Wolfram, you said that you wanted to find a position sort of like above, like a sort of like a overwatch sort of position.
Yeah,
nearby.
I think something across the street from the front of the store. Try to keep an eye on the people that are keeping or guarding the place. Wherever I can get the best view that's still within range of my gun.
Cool. Excellent. And then does that mean Rattler and Parker are both in the stuff caravan?
Yeah.
Excellent. Cool.
So much stuff.
Oh my god.
Stuff with stuff even.
So much stuff. Excellent. So yeah, we see we sort of we get the overhead camera view of the town as we see the stuff caravan kind of making its way down the alleys, keeping a relatively low profile. The gang won't be aware of the drifters' movements through the alleyways. They won't care as much about that, and you're in a caravan anyway. Wolfram, I mean, you are trying to climb up into into a place with your very normal rifle. Let's have you make a roll to see if you get it, if anybody gives you any trouble or anything like that along the way, especially in finding a spot. So, can you give me a hunt roll to sort of move through the town in such a way that you find a spot that you're looking for and people also don't find you?
You said hunt?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do that. I'm sort of okay at that.
Love sort of okay.
Not if I roll a 1 though. That's not gonna help.
So yeah,
One's always bad.
we see the split screen of what's going on here, and the stuff caravan is just going along nicely down through the alleyway. Just a regular old stuff delivery. Oh, that's a good question. How does dice rolling work? Yeah, so for folks who aren't familiar, this works basically. Everybody has sort of skills with different size dice that they use on them: D6, D8, D10. And anytime you do something, you roll that die, and a 4+ is a success, regardless of the size of the die. So obviously you have a better chance of success with the skills that you're particularly good at. But for everything in this game, we're looking for 4+ as successes, no matter what dice you're rolling or how many. Unless you have a shotgun in which you literally always hit, and not instead more figuring out what you do with that hit. Good clarification. Okay, so Wolfram, I think you make your way down the main street. I think you see like the perfect building. I think you know exactly where you want to be, and you're sort of like moving along the path, and you kind of dip into an alley that you think might get you to a way to climb up there, and there's a couple of Mathis's gang are in the middle of like shaking somebody down in that alley. You see this like younger individual. You can't really tell details from it, but they're kind of like knocked out on the ground, and two of Mathis's gang are looming over them. They don't have like a gun drawn or anything, but they're like kind of kicking the dirt at the kid, trying to scare him and get something from this kid. The kid is backing up against the wall as best you can. So what are you gonna do about that, Wolfram? Your perfect sneaky side alley is full of a couple of jerks.
Well, that doesn't have to do with liberating guns, so I'm inclined to just go find another alley and leave them to their business. But I mean, they're in my way. I mean, this is the perfect place to go. This is my way to my sniping spot, and they're here. So we probably just walk up and say, can we help you?
Yeah, and one of them turns around and she looks at you. She's got like the scar across her face, like across the eye. She gives you this nasty snarl, and she goes, "You can fuck off."
I like look around. No, I need to go this way.
The way is closed unless you want to pay the toll. And like she holds out a hand, like a dusty gloved hand.
We like pat our suit and then reach in a pocket, walk up and I like look at the kid that they're harassing.
Yeah.
And then I stop myself and I go back in my pocket, and now I put out 2 bullets and just set them in her hand.
Oh, okay.
That should cover both of us.
Yeah. Oh, that's very good. That's very good. Are you let's have a roll on that. Let's have a compel roll to see if that if that moves the needle for her in terms of how she sees you.
That's a 6.
Hell yeah. She looks at the bullets, and what is it about the bullets, Wolfram, that makes her like give pause? Is it just the fact that it is bullets? Are we sort of like establishing that maybe bullets are relatively rare, or is there something weird about your bullets where she would be like, ah, fuck?
So they're bullets, but the casing is made of the same like purple wood that's set in the stock of the rifle, and then it has like these swirling. I think they kind of have maybe like flower patterns in this green resin, and so they work in my gun just fine.
Right.
They're definitely not normal bullets though.
Okay. Yeah. So I think she like looks at him and goes, "What is it?" And then like she stops mid sentence. And like you see her hand, which was just held out straight, like starts to tremble. She drops the bullets, and she pieces out. The other goon is like, "What's going on?" Looks down, sees the bullets, also then pieces out. And the kid is just terrified of the whole situation. Also looks to peace out unless you feel like you want to like talk to this kid at all. This kid wants to get the fuck out of here.
No, whatever. I got him out of my way. I'll pick up my bullets and dust them off and put them back in my pocket.
Excellent. So you managed to scare away with your weird purple bullets, and you find exactly the sort of sniper nest that you were looking for. So you found the spot. We see, as the camera again is a dual camera. We see Wolfram climbing up to the top of this one building as the stuff delivery caravan just begins to arrive behind the shop here. So, Parker and Rattler, you've got a empty caravan, and nobody's really here in the alleyways. Like nobody's. It's early morning when you arrive, so it's still like relatively quiet here in town. Um, what's the plan? What do you two want to do here?
Are there any windows or a back door?
There is. You can see that the windows have all been boarded up from the inside. So like they're windows technically, but like there's just
Mhm.
planks all over them. And there is a door. There's no obvious barricade from this side, but there is like a back door to this place.
Okay. Is there a blank bit of wall where they probably haven't barricaded it inside?
Yeah, there's plenty of stretches of wall that aren't like near a door or a window that are probably just the regular wall, the regular
Yeah.
wood that your gun is eager to destroy.
Yeah, this is just wood.
Yeah.
Um, so uh, I will take a look at my shotgun, uh, uh, snarl at it a little. Um,
Snarls back at you.
yeah. Um, and I assume damage mode is what I want to be in.
Yeah, probably. I assume that's sort of you're looking
AoE or something.
to destroy this thing. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
All right. Go ahead and yeah, roll your dice. Let's see how this works.
Okay.
So while Adira's looking at her sheet, here's how the shotgun class works. You always hit your target as long as it's close to you. What happens is you roll 2d6, and there are some tables that you can choose the outcome after the fact. So you sort of plug in your dice after the fact to see what that shot looks like. So you have a little bit of control over the randomness. But what did you roll, Adira? What is it? What have you done here?
I got a 1 and a 2, so I'm going to do AoE and 3 damage.
Yeah, so you so what does it look like as you do sort of like what is the AoE effect of the shotgun? It actually does the shotgun look different as you switch it between like damage and control mode or
Yeah, I think when the shotgun's sort of like resting, it looks mostly like a normal shotgun, and then as it goes into damage, the front of it takes on a sort of almost like it's like a toothy maw at the front of the shotgun, um, uh, as the barrel like ripples and the like butt of the shotgun is almost like scaly, like it's a big alligator.
oh fuck.
Um,
Hell yeah.
and so Parker cocks it, lets loose, and just like out of its mouth is just like a rain of bullets all around her.
An alligator that just vomits bullets out at this wall. That is amazing. Yeah, and so with the max damage with this and with the AoE effect, it's a massive hole that you blast into the side of this. So not only do we hear this loud explosion, like as the wall shatters, you also hear like a cry of pain as like some poor fool who was on the other, like just walking around inside there, also got blasted by this and like hit by the shrapnel and like we see like the dust starting to settle, and there's definitely at least one person laying flat on the ground inside.
Parker cackling kicks them out of the way and moves in to clear the room.
Rattler, what? Just before we kind of like kick, because it sounds like we're kicking things off here. Whereabouts would you be in this? Are you like staying with the caravan, or are you following Parker inside?
Yeah, I think I'm going to follow her inside. Under the assumption that perhaps there's a couple more goons,
Yeah.
and most certainly they've heard our entry, so there will be more goons regardless.
Maybe.
Right?
We got
Um,
the eventual expansion for drifters with the silencer that you put on your alligator mouth, so it's just a quiet little.
A
right.
muzzle.
Right, exactly. Awesome. So we see the two of you like kind of going in, and so we have the half shot where like we see you two going in, and we see Wolfram's perspective where there's just like you see like the ground shake a little bit just from the impact of this, and all of the guards who are up front in the building panic at the sound of this. And it sounds like we're getting ourselves into a fight, which means we should figure out our turn order and get this thing kicked off. So how turn order works is the drifters all have a draw die. It shows how quickly they are. They're going to roll that, and it just essentially is their initiative score. Enemies in this game have fixed initiative scores that we can always just use as a reliable thing. So, Parker, what did you get?
I got a 4.
Okay. And Wolfram? Oh, Wolfram?
Oh, sorry. I got a 1 again. I used the same die that I used last time.
Gotta throw that one away.
I don't think it's having it today.
Rattler, what did you get?
Also a 1.
Okay, excellent. Wow. Okay, so Parker, you do have you've got.
Maybe I should have let people know I was doing this.
I think that's mostly it. Nobody was prepared for the alligator explosion.
It was a
We were
lot
waiting
bigger.
for a signal before you fired it, and your firing it was the signal.
Right. Amazing. Okay, so Parker, you are technically tied with one person who's in this fight, but drifters always beat enemies in ties. So you find yourself in a room. It's pretty like there's like a bit of like sawdust essentially filling the air from the wood evaporating under the blast of your shot. So it's a little hazy in this room, but you can see movement of at least 3 figures in here, and there's tons and tons of boxes. So all the shelves in this room have been like removed or pushed to the side, and there's just huge crates that kind of set up a number of different paths in this room, but they're all at like chest height or lower. So you can see these 3 individuals who are like moving towards the explosion in the door.
How close are they to me?
They are all at this point at close range
Okay.
for you because you've walked inside here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a room with them. It's all close range for you.
So. Huh.
And just as a reminder for the players, but also to tell folks at home how this works, is on a drifter's turn, they can move, which they can move these abstract range distances, close, far, near to a particular location or enemy, and then they can take 2 actions. Usually shooting their gun is one of them, although not always. They also have another special power or ability that is unique to their class. In Parker's case, it's switching the mode of the shotgun between damage and like a control CC mode. And then any drifter can always take cover as one of their actions, or use one of their skills as one of their actions in combat.
Okay. I'm going to use a skill, and I'm going to do a quick scan of this place.
Cool.
And just sort of get like a rundown tactically, like,
Yeah.
like, are these crates guns? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
Go for it. Hit that scan roll.
All right, I got a 7 because I have a
Nice.
D10 scan.
Ooh, all right, yeah. So you get a good rundown. From what you can tell, yeah, for the most part, these crates are guns. There is one you do notice that thankfully wasn't at the back of the room. Was actually more on like one of the far wall from you. That has big old like danger painted all over it to like indicate that it was probably full of explosives of some kind. Yes, these crates are in fact full of guns, and there is one of them that is full of explosives that you did not explode. And then there are also three outlaws that are coming at you. They are coming from like different angles, so none of them are like grouped up next to each other.
Okay. Can I move into a way to sort of get them a little bit more grouped up?
Yeah. Yeah, you can totally like pivot yourself so that you can kind of like line up where your bullet vomit would definitely spread out and hit 2 of them.
All right, cool. I'll do that and then bark the shotgun at him.
Yes, alligator bark.
All right, so that's going to be a blast and 3 damage.
Cool, excellent. So, do you want to just blast the person who is closest to you, just like send them
Yeah.
like screaming back. Yeah, so the person who's closest to you gets hit with the blast effect, which is like a knockback, and they get hit with 3 damage. 3 damage is certainly enough to just annihilate this fool. So we see a big alligator bite size hole right through their chest as they go blasting backwards into the room. The person who is kind of in the middle of these three, they're the next person to go. They look at Parker and they look at Rattler coming in. They they deem Parker to be the greater threat right now with the alligator gun. And they also produce a small shotgun. It looks really dinky by comparison to yours. It's not nearly as cool. But they do grab their shotgun and they are going to try and shoot you. Let's see how they do. They get a 2, so they shoot wide. I think they are probably panicking at this. They probably had to dodge out of the way as their friend went blasting past them, so their shot went wide and it kind of goes, crashing into the wall behind you. Unfortunately, Wolfram and Rattler both got 1s, which means the other outlaws are going to start acting before then. There is one other outlaw in this room. They are going to take a revolver shot at Rattler in the doorway. So they pull out their revolver. Doesn't have any magic runes on it, so not quite as cool. They get a 6, so they do hit you for 1 damage. Rattler.
Okey-dokey.
Wolfram, you see the guards who are up front. You see there's kind of like 2 of them that are staying up front, kind of maintaining a thing, and then the other 2 are starting to move to the alley. They're not rushing to the back where an explosion is. They are slowly going to see what the situation is. They're not going to run towards an explosion. So you see 2 are holding up front and 2 are just starting to move down the alley, and they're kind of slowly scoping it out to see what's going on.
Okay.
Which means it is now Wolfram or Rattler's turn. Drifters, as ties, you can decide who goes first. So whoever would like to go first.
Yeah, no, if Wolfram wants to go and address that situation up front, go ahead.
Okay, sure. So one thing, Spencer, the rifle has kind of a ready action, or can spot once at the start of combat.
Yes.
That's correct. And so there are 4 guys, and 2 of them are starting to move. So I guess I'm going to start my sort of first spot that I get for free. I will use my Void Sight, and I'm going to make the next sling lead from any drifter against one of the guys going into the alley give it advantage.
Nice.
And I'm going to immediately use that and try to shoot that guy.
Blast that fool. Does it look like anything? Do we again, I know you said earlier that your eyes are normal, but now your void sight is kicking in. Do we see anything going on here as you essentially mark this person?
Yeah. So basically, just as Wolfram takes aim, one of his eyes essentially looks like it's it's blinded. It's got really bad cataracts, and from his perspective, he's now seeing. I think echoes of where this guy was previously, and sort of little hints of where he's about to go. And so I kind of track him that way.
So it's just ahead of, you see this person where they're going predicted just ahead of time based off of where they've been in back.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
Oh, that's very cool.
It's this ghostly way of calculating the trajectory.
Yeah. Ooh, gnarly and cool. So yeah, with advantage, you get to roll your shot twice and take the higher roll. So go ahead and roll it twice and tell us what you get.
I get a D10 on this. Oh wait, I got a 10.
Oh,
that's a crit.
All right, so you get a crit. That is the rifle's thing. Is it warms up the more it gets used in combat, but this rifle was already hot. It's ready to go. You got a crit right out the gate.
I got a 9 and a 10 on those dice.
Damn.
So I only got the 1 crit effect so far,
yeah.
Which is just +2 damage. So it's going to take 5 damage.
Oh my god, yeah. They're very dead. So, I mean, you were predicting their movement, which, I guess what does it look like? Because this is a lot of damage.
I think, Wolfram waits until the guy's out of sight, right? So from his buddy's perspective, the guy's gone into the alleyway and he's on his way back to see what's going on. and then he just fires a shot, and it goes through the corner of the building and into the guy on the other side, because I've calculated where he would be at that exact moment.
Nice. So like Parker and Rattler, you're in the middle of a firefight, and then you hear this loud crack, and you see like this like streak of light that goes through as sunlight now comes through from where Wolfram's rifle smashed a very clean line into somebody who you hear scream on the other side of the wall, and they're dead. Excellent. Perfect. So Rattler, what would you like to do?
Yeah, so I think
Oh, sorry, real quick. Can I use my
Sorry.
my second action?
Oh,
Sorry.
yeah.
I'm gonna spot again, and I guess just do the same thing on. Well, hold on. For the other guy that's going down the alleyway, I'm going to make him a bullet magnet, and he can be shot by any gun, regardless of range or vision, until the start of my next turn. Never mind.
So we're gonna do some bullet bending. Excellent. Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I'll probably do the advantage one on him again, since it goes until the start of my next turn, and the other two don't know he's on his way.
Cool. Excellent. Rattler, you've got
Cool.
two individuals here in this room. One shot you, and the other one tried to shoot Parker and missed.
Well, I think I'm going to start my turn by firing off at the one who shot me.
Fair.
That was incredibly rude and probably a very bad decision for them.
Excellent. Are you using any particular special types of bullets because you have a Runic Revolver?
Yes. So as Rattler pulls the revolver out of his holster, the two runes that are prominent on there. So I've picked up Adaptable and Deadeye, meaning I can fire this gun at all ranges, and also I can hit targets behind cover walls or any other barrier.
Excellent.
So there's no hiding.
It seems very appropriate for a bounty hunter to take those. Yeah.
Right. So you're not getting away from this. Yeah, I think the Deadeye rune, just looks like a big staring open eye. And then the Adaptable one is sort of like a simple geometric shape, but depending on like the angle you look at it, might be a triangle, it might be a circle, it might be a square, kind of this shimmery effect.
Very cool.
And so with the Runic Revolver, I have 66, and I can fire off as many of those as I want at a single target.
Correct.
Before I have to reload eventually. So I'm going to start this volley with 3 of them.
Okay.
All on the one who shot me.
Fair.
And here we go. All right. 5, 4, and a 2.
All right, so that's 2 that hit, which for this goon is enough to take them down. So what does it look like as you blast this fool?
Yeah, it's kind of the intro pulling the revolver out of like this quick draw was the slow motion shot, and then camera catches up with the speed, and it's just pow pow pow, 3 shots, 2 hitting this goon, knocking him back, knocking him down. And I think there's just the classic wisp of smoke coming out of the revolver, right? But it's definitely a strange color, right? This isn't definitely
normal
not a
revolver.
Yeah, totally normal. It's fine. This is what guns do.
We've got an alligator gun. We've got like a purple bullet shooter that's a normal length and a very normal wispy revolver.
Right. Yep. And then with my second action, I am going to, I think, take some cover, because I'm assuming that Parker's going to deal with this goon over there.
A fair assumption.
And I just want to be out of the blast radius at this point.
Cool. So we see you kind of like hop down behind cover, and cover basically reduces damage that you would have until the start of your next turn. Speaking of Parker, we hop back to the top of the turn order. Now, Parker, you've got this person who shot at you. The other person you saw Rattler take care of. But I think also, your gun is just growling at you because it's in alligator mode. But I think your gun can sense that there's an individual basically on the other side of this wall from you that like it feels magnetized that like if you wanted to, it could shoot that person too because they have been marked by Wolfram's void sight. So it's not that you have to shoot them, but you are aware of them, and the bullet magnet effect would be something that you could take advantage of, and your gun growls that into your mind.
Yeah. Well, first I'm gonna look at the person who's like over there with that shotgun.
Yeah.
Um, and I would like to get them to run away.
Oh.
So I'm just gonna yell "boo" and compel them.
Yeah. Let's have that compel roll because they're probably pretty scared. In fact, go ahead and roll it with advantage because, I mean, they've seen some horrible things so far.
Oh, I do not have a second D8, so let me reroll. Well, that was an 8.
All right. Yeah. You shout boo, and they turn, and then they run like headlong into the door, and they try and open it, and it's like it doesn't open, and there's like a billion latches on it and they're just like desperately trying to undo all of the latches on the door as fast as they can. And they will spend a good amount of time undoing all the latches. They'll look over their shoulder as they're doing the latches, like making sure that you're not shooting them in the back. But yeah, they're making a run for it.
I will swing my gun around and to that person who's doing the latches, I'll just say tick tock, and then I'll fire at the bullet magnet.
Yeah, we hear like the sound of this person has relieved themselves in fear.
All right. So if I AoE right now, how does that work?
Basically, if there was anybody or anything nearby it, it would also take damage. So basically, you would be doing, like, at this point, a bunch of environmental damage to everything around this person.
Yeah.
But it's
Fuck
just...
this town.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not ours yet.
No.
So I'll do 3 damage AoE because I rolled 2 2s.
Cool, excellent. Yeah, so it's another... Wolfram, you can kind of see this explosion this time because it's from the side of the building, where there's just suddenly you see like the shattered like wood splinters that go slamming against the other wall. You also see somebody go flying up against the wall in tatters. And yeah, Parker, what is it? I mean, what does it look like with an AOE sort of explosion? Like what kind of damage are we looking at here on this person?
I think so. It's birdshot the size of buckshot, and as it like arrives, it also explodes further into shrapnel. So it's like a grenade went off.
Oh my god. Amazing. Yeah, and so like your gun knew exactly where to aim because of the bullet magnet, and it just exploded. A very focused grenade blast into this individual, and they and the wall and everything in between is just in pieces. Amazing. Next in the turn order is the person who's trying to get out of here. They spend the rest of their turn unlatching all the things, and then they like open the door and stumble out. So like Rattler, you would see this person leave, Parker would see them leave, and Wolfram, you'd see this person like fall over themselves trying to get out of the place. Like without a word is ready to just take off, not tell their friends what's going on. They are like scrambling to get their feet above, like underneath them to get the hell out of here. The other goons, there are 2 more goons that are up front. They're a little spooked too. But one will like kind of peek inside like to see what scared their boss so much, and they'll see Parker inside, and they'll desperately just fire off a shot from their revolver. They had their gun out to see if they can do some damage here. They get a 4,
Yep.
so they will do one damage to you, Parker.
All right.
Your gun growls as the bullet hits you, and the gun like fuels you to like keep you standing up, and like you're not going anywhere. Let's keep going. The other person knows that somebody is shooting from across the street. And they spend their turn, they kind of like go and get behind like a barrel. You know, there's going to be barrels all over the place. There's a barrel up here on the front porch. They get themselves behind cover and they are scanning for you, Wolfram. So they spend their turn getting, you know, these are outlaws. They can't do a lot on their turn. So they're going to spend their turn hiding and trying to find you. And they don't like take a shot that would hit, but they like kind of like do a blind fire over the cover just to like acknowledge that they know you're here and they're going to try and find you. Speaking of Wolfram or Rattler, either of you can take your turn.
I'll go again, sure. So I was like preparing and taking aim at the other person going down the alley, and then the wall explodes. I was like, okay, and I pivot over to. Can I still see the person that's behind the barrel?
You can. They have cover, so they'll take reduced harm from any damage that you fire at them.
Okay. I don't suppose spotting them would counteract that at all. I make them a bullet magnet again.
That will. Bullet magnet will allow you to, you know, like in Wanted.
Yeah.
Your bullet will go around the barrel. And...
then I'll just do that. I see them, and then I I just will go around the barrel.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. All right, go ahead and roll your d10.
Oh, that's a 2 though, so I don't actually go around the barrel.
I think it does still like whip around it, and so like this, we see like the shot from like like the front of this person, and they're sitting there like, and we see you like off in the distance, and the bullet fires, and it does curve, like it doesn't go through the bolt like the barrel, and it hits right in front of the person, and they're like, that doesn't make sense, and they start to panic, but they are alive.
I'm just like, all right, and then I gain 1 hone.
Yes, so you're right.
Right, or is that only if it hits and I don't get a crit?
So that will, you always gain hone as long as you don't get a crit, and so your okay. Rifle is warming up and will more likely get a crit in the future. Rattler, you see, I mean, from what you can see, there's an individual who's kind of like peeking into the doorway of this place. They took a shot and hit Parker, and you know that there's still some gunfire going on outside.
Okay, yeah. So since I have Deadeye, I am going to try and go for the goon that was shooting at Parker.
Okay.
I feel like as you know, aiming this shot, the eye rune starts to glow. He said because they were kind of like peeking in, so I imagine most of their body is behind cover or like wall or door or something, and basically just aiming at where they are behind that cover. And I am going to use another 3d6.
Nice.
To hopefully deal with them. We got a 5, a 4, and a 2.
All right, 2 damage is going to be enough to blast this goon. What does it look like? Because you're aiming through like the wall or like the door. Mm-hmm. So like, what do we see from the audience's perspective? Because this gets them through some cover.
Yeah. So the eye rune was glowing as Rattler fired off these 3 shots. And the 2 that hit, they also glow. It kind of like streak through the air a little bit. There's a little like after image, and I think just punch through the wall, not nearly as explosively as our alligator gun over there, but enough to like get that goon. And then there's this kind of a thump. You know, as they slump to the floor, clearly not expecting to be shot through a wall.
Right. And I think that's perfect because we go back to Parker's turn. And Parker, you see this person who was like looking and like took a shot at you, and then you hear the crack of the revolver, and this person just slides down in the door frame. You know that there's still some firefight going up front. It's basically the 3 of you versus this one goon. So Parker, it's your turn, Parker. What do you want to do about it?
So there's one guy up front still?
Yeah, the person that you scared away has started to run down the street.
Okay. That's the last guy?
No, the last person is the person hiding behind the barrel who got lucky.
how far away from am I from this guy?
You would be at near range right now, so you'd have to kind of like move closer to them.
Yeah. Can I just run up and jump onto the barrel and shoot him?
Yeah.
Or actually, no, I don't even need to do that. I will just appear behind them.
Yes.
Because I can do that once a scene. I can teleport. Um,
What does that
and
look
I
like? Because
will,
you're using your stranger power that allows you to essentially teleport.
yeah. Yeah. So Parker looks, sees this person's far away, sees this person's behind a barrel, and uh, she sort of like looks straight at the sun, and it's like weird, and it's like, well, your eyes sort of unfocus for a little bit, and then you realize that she is right behind that person. Her shotgun is right at the back of their head. Um, and she says, "Sorry," and fires.
Oh my god.
And then I can pick damage twice, right?
You have to pick one from each of the axes, so you do have to
Oh.
choose a damage outcome and a either AOE or blast.
Okay, so then 3 damage and blast.
So this poor person gets hit with max damage, and their body goes flying through the barrel and kind of like scraping across the street. And they are a heap. They're not going anywhere. Yeah, Wolfram, you were in the process of like honing in on this person, and then you see again another wooden explosion as this barrel explodes, and you see
We're just
Parker.
gone.
This person is gone.
I get freaked out because there's this massive person with a giant shotgun that just appeared and took out the person I was trying to shoot, and I'm like, oh wait, oh, it's Parker. Okay, we're good.
Right. This almost became a much bigger job, and then you went, oh, right. I recognize that alligator.
Yeah, no, she's just crazy.
Awesome. So with that, the sort of the combat ends as you've eliminated all the goons. The streets are abandoned. Like everybody has run away. Nobody is out watching this firefight right now. And we see you all have an opportunity. Are you just gonna load up the caravan with all of the guns that you possibly can?
Yeah.
I guess so, yeah.
Yeah.
So I want to kind of do like a little bit of like a montage as we wrap up here. So like you all gather like these guns, and so what is it gonna look like as you start to distribute the weapons around town? Like how do the drifters start the rearming process? Because like this patrol is about getting the guns, but also like distributing them. Like what would that look like for you all?
I've got an idea, if
Let's hear
folks
it.
are open to it.
Mhm.
So I've got this ability as a prospector where I can make a tunnel network. Once per session, you can connect 2 locations that you have visited or seen with an underground network that only the drifters may use. So I feel like we like take this caravan like out of town or something,
Ooh.
and then I set up a tunnel to somewhere in town, and we make like a literal underground weapons dealership.
Nice.
And so we like people can just go to this place and they can get guns from these random people that showed up in town.
That's awesome. Yeah.
And it gives us some cover outside of town to, lay low and everything.
Yeah, so you all have sort of like a base of operations now with this caravan full of guns. Are you taking those explosives with you?
Oh, yeah.
Almost.
Got to, yeah.
100%.
So yeah, we see this montage of the tunnel. I actually am curious, Wolfram, when you build a tunnel network, are you building it? Are you just like a super fast like shoveler, or does it just like build itself? Like, what does that process look like as you make a tunnel network?
I think so. Let's see. I think tapping into kind of the same void site. I think I just like look around, and a long time ago there may have been like the start of a mine around here or something. And so for the drifters, for the 3 of us, that mine is still around, and so we can kind of access that long collapsed and buried start of a mine shaft, and it just happens to lead into the town where we need to go.
Awesome. So you have all created an underground gun smuggling. Drug smuggling is your next patrol. Gun smuggling network here for Gray's Landing. How this would work in a greater Drifters kind of campaign is that we would mark your progress on taking down Arthur Mathis based off of the impact of handling this patrol. So you have weakened Mathis's hold over Gray's Landing by beginning to arm the populace, which will mean in the future, if during any future patrols you wanted to have the armed populace help you out with something, they've got guns and explosives now at the ready to help the Drifters. So excellent. I think we'll wrap it up there. That feels like a good stopping place for us. We had a good patrol. You wasted some fools. We got to see some teleporting shotgun stuff. I mean, how can you complain? So we'll wrap this up. Like I said, this was Drifters, the RPG. I had a lot of fun playing it here with my friends. It's available up on itch. If you go to my itch, which is gilarpgs.itch.io, there's Drifters. I also have a supplement coming out for it called Cold Iron, which is going to be a Fey court turf war that takes place in one of these Wild West towns, and you get thrown into the middle of it. It'll be itch funding as part of Zine Month, so look for that in the beginning of February. I want to say thank you all so much for being here and playing. Let's have you all go again once more and promote your stuff. Where can people find you? All that. Adira, remind the folks who you are. Where can they find you? All that greatness.
Yeah, hi, I'm Adira Slattery. You can find me on Twitter at Adira Slattery. You can get my games at adira.itch.io. One game that, if you've been enjoying this, that you might like on my itch page is called Gunfucks. It's got weird guns. It uses another of Spencer Systems, Lumen. And I have been perpetually extending posting this update. Just because I keep making it neater. I just got some art for the gun manufacturer logos. Yeah, it's gonna be good shit. But the game as is also very fucking neat. So yeah.
Yeah, it is. Hell yeah! Check out Gunfucks. Aaron, where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm Aaron Jolliffe. You can find me at Jalawful on Twitter. I'm just gonna post links to these because
feel free, yeah, and I'll make sure all this stuff gets up in like the YouTube description for folks as well.
You can also find the games and stuff that I write at jolliffe.itch.io. Most recently, I've been making. I just submitted the third of my 3 entries for the Nova Jam. So I made a chess-themed support class, a support spark. I made a weird supplement of like some crazy lore and magic items, basically. And then just the other day, I posted the Prophetic Hive, which is a brand new enemy faction that the Sparks can fight against.
Bees, fight the bees. I love it. I'm very excited about using the Prophetic Hive in a future thing. Awesome. And Josh, who are you? Where can people find you and all that good stuff?
Hello, I'm Josh still. You can find all my stuff on itch.io at ostrichmonkey.itch.io. Last major thing I released was Smash Hit. Great game, Vibe Check. You should check it out. It's very good. It's really good art because I was able to raise enough money to this commission. It's so good, so pretty, so great. Yeah, that's a lot of fun. You can also find me on Twitter at Ostrich Monkey. Occasionally I post previews of things that I might be working on, or I'll just make a cover and be like, I should make this a game. And now I'm compelled and contractually obligated to make that game.
That one cover that you showed off like last week or something, that has to exist. It looks so
I'm
good.
I'm working on it.
Good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, thank you all so much for being here. Thank you everybody who enjoyed this. The VODs will be up on YouTube and Twitch and all of that. Have yourselves a wonderful rest of the day wherever it is you are, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.